Right, welcome back. Another episode. Got a bit to cover today. I do have a new pairing in here with the Grizzle, so you're going to have to stick around till a little bit later, and we will have a look at that one. Lots going on in there we're going to have a look at, but also a lot in here we need to get around. Look at the little babies. This is good. I do like this time. Oh, hey, what are you doing up there? She's pretty friendly, this little one. Her and her brother, this is her brother up here. They're actually quite friendly for young birds, which is really good. Got all those little ones down there. They're all out loft flying. Later on today I'll get them out when the weather probably slows down a little bit, just because we've got some real heavy gusts of wind coming through. Those are a bit young, so I don't really want to push them too hard just yet. Really good though. I've not seen the falcon, touch wood, in quite a few weeks. So I've actually been able to loft fly these babies without any falcons giving us any trouble, so that has been a blessing. So I think for us this time of year, ideally this round here should have been the second round. If we'd been a little bit earlier, we would have we're definitely going to be, that's the key. I think basically what I'm trying to say is that we should start these guys a little bit earlier, so that we're on our second round now. We do have the second round hatching, but I'd like to have the second round starting to fly them up in the air where these other ones should be up. So I think that's working, breeding in the time when everyone else wouldn't even think about doing it here, but it is working. No falcons, it's fantastic. So hopefully this year our losses are a little bit less. Right, so these are the first round that I bred out, all looking quite good. We'll zoom in on them a little bit more. We've got the white flight from the best Kittle hen, the two nice looking blue bars over the back. They are my little tough blue bar hen from last year. They are full siblings to it. I only bred one like that last year, but this year we're doing a lot more that way because they were fantastic. The best Kittle's not looking too bad. I am considering putting the mother in the auction coming up shortly. I am having a separate video for the auction. Basically go through all those birds so everyone can have a little bit of a look at it, because there's quite a few birds to go through. It's going to be a reasonably big auction. There's going to be quite a few birds in there, like I said, but a few things are changing around the place here, so I need to reduce, just trying to reduce my stock birds a little bit because there's a lot of them, and just sort of focusing on the birds that are doing really well for us. There's only a couple pairs that are doing really well for us, some of the newer birds, so you will see a lot of focus on those pairs, which like this blue bar here, this little blue bar here, are part of that focus. So just those the distance birds. These are nest mates right here. They're beautiful pigeons. Just check them out, look at them. They're just more distance pigeons, and they seem to handle jumping out, minimal loft flying, and then being able to jump out and make the race. We only had one to test last year, and she's still here out of all the birds we hadn't lost. So I'm really feeling like that is a good direction to go down. It's just, I'm sticking with my gut feeling, and I know that's the way to go this year, because if I can get a loft full of these guys, I'm hoping our losses will be a lot less. The falcons at that time of year, just after molting, absolutely hammer us, and we can't loft fly. So it's one more chance before I probably just focus on one loft racing and flying coloured pigeons around the loft. So you know, we don't particularly want to get to that point, but you know, there's only so much you can do. And what we might just shut this one up here for a second, and there's a few birds in here still. Let's have a look at that big fella. This one's Rosetta's son. He's a beautiful bird. I was thinking about training up for the young bird derby in about 3 or 4 weeks, but we'll see. That was around about 550 kilometers, so I'm thinking probably 600 kilometers to my house. We are out in the middle of nowhere, so we will think about it, but not at this point. I'm not really racing, just because we took some pretty heavy losses, but you know, we still got some birds here ready for next year. My little barless hen's in here too. We might move her on. Barless project. Recessives are pretty hard. We do have the recessive red here. She done pretty well. She's probably one of the best up there in the best birds we had this season. She handled it pretty well and come back from all the tough races. I think she went out to 350, which is not a long way, but Given the amount of loft flying and training these birds can get in before the season, it was pretty impressive. So most people that watch this channel know that there's a certain time of the year, about 6 months of the year, where we can realistically not loft fly at all. The birds will get around about 2.5 to 5 minutes in the air, and then the falcons have just got them pinned down to the house or into my shed, or they come back in here. So yeah, it's a bit of a battle, but I do have birds that can withstand out here. That's the, although it's, yeah, this year's been pretty tough. The season is still ongoing, but we've copped it pretty hard. But there is a silver lining. I have actually found pairs that I want to focus on that actually can withhandle the sort of racing that needs to happen in this place. But we'll get to that at some point. Hopefully today I'm going to film all the auction birds. There's a lot in here to do, and I may have 1 or 2 more. I'm not 100% sure. I have taken one out, which is the black cock that we've got. I've just paired him back to the Thai Grizzle hen, so we'll have a look at those ones shortly. There's some nice birds in here. So at this point, I'm going to do that full video of each bird and we'll go all through it. But at this point, there's around about 9, I think, to auction. There's some best kittles. I think my full best kittle hen will be in this auction, wherever she is. She's here somewhere. There she is. Fantastic bird, but doesn't handle pressure. She's a beautiful pigeon. Check her out. She's going to be in the sale. She is one of probably the only full-blooded best kittle pigeon that you'll probably see for sale in Australia. Now that the borders are shut and pigeons aren't coming in, so we are going to try and move her on a little bit. There's a son of her as well. The only reason I want to move her on is that I'm, reducing numbers and only keeping the birds that can handle, really high pressure environments like we're in now. The best kittles don't really seem to handle that as well. They are, if you want a short distance sprint to middle, probably a bird that do really well, she's definitely going to be the key. But when you're getting hammered by falcons every single day, within 2.5 minutes of getting them out loft flying, these birds don't generally handle that too well. Not many pigeons do anyway, so not to dampen in the mood. But I've also got the Keys, Bonsal and the Reynard up here. They're doing fantastic for me. They are really good in the high pressure environments. And then we've got this little cock here. He is a son of 83 crossed into the best kittle hen, so he'll be up for sale too. He was going to go to Battaya, but we just missed out on that one, getting the rings on him. So he would be ideal to buy and pair up with the mother. You would get some really good pairings out of that. And then we've got a Daughter of Storm here, 2 times bred, so that one's going to be pretty good. And we've got another Reynard Keys Bonsal over there. We have some of the speed birds that I'm working on here too. These have been really, really good for us. That's the only one left. But for these, all the early races you've seen, these are the only things I was clocking. Was clocking the mother, we're clocking the brothers. This one was there, but obviously not as fast as his brother. But he didn't make it back from the other race, but he's a fantastic pigeon. He's got all the best sprint bloods in him as well. I combined everything, like Pitbull, Gold Dust. Who else is in there? Kittle. There's some really good Hermans in that as well. I think like the Olympiads. Rossi. There's a lot of good blood in him, probably why those are so good in sprint wise. And then we got Little Storm over here. She's a fantastic hen, this one. She raced at my friend's loft, 300 to 400 kilometers. She was with the Cockbirds pretty much every single race. She was the slowest out of the bunch, but she was pretty good. So that was the only one that my friend would let me bring back to breed. So we managed to bring her back, and she actually is mother to Kamashi in one loft race. And he is, I think he's the 2nd best bird I've got in there. He's in the top 7 to 7.5% of those 1,500 birds that are in there. So he's quite a good bird, and that's the mother of it there. So definitely got some really good birds in this auction. A lot of these are proven. So He's a race bird too, actually. There's heaps of them in here. It's great. And this cockatoo, he's the father of my potato birds. One of the hardy Krugers. He will be in that auction as well. I'm just sort of cutting down on numbers. I've got another Kruger cock over there I'm going to use. But when I ordered the pairs, I ended up getting heaps of cocks and no hens basically, so that didn't work out the way I wanted it. So I'm going to sell a few of those off. They are fantastic birds. They are doing quite well for me. Let's have a look at that Reynard again. He's looking pretty good. He's the one that's a cock, I think. He's chasing all the hens. Not giving him much of a break at the moment. So when I get time, hopefully today or tomorrow, I'll go through, because we'll be on hop auctions, and there's going to be a whole bunch more birds as well, full brothers and sisters to birds I've got in some of the one Loft races, and they're in the top 3.5% of all pigeons in there, so they are fantastic. Full brothers and sisters too, come out of the same nest. So definitely not just moving on birds that aren't any good. We're selling birds that are fantastic, and I will continually update pedigrees if anyone gets birds from me, because they do keep updating all the time. Let's go and have a look at some breeding birds. There's a lot of talking going on here, but it's more updates. I haven't been around a lot lately, so we've just been trying to capture everything and get everything updated. We will have a look at the Tiger Grizzle hen in a minute. Let's go in here quickly. I can see the kids behind me getting a bit anxious and wanting to come out and play, but we just need to get this video done and dusted. Let's have a quick look at some of the breeding ones, because there's a few bits and pieces happening in here. Okay, so you notice there's a second nest bowl in here with 83 and the mealy hen. The mealy hen cockbird we've seen before is a son of this hen, and she was my best hen from this season, so they're doing really well. So I paired her up with 83, and he is the best cockbird from the season before. If you remember that, he's a fantastic bird. He's actually lived out on this property since I bought it, so he's done really well to avoid all the falcons. And he's got 2 daughters in here, which are really good. And I've put a second nest bowl in here because the mealy hen's going to lay again soon too. So we'll give them an opportunity to go another round. And if I do have a second auction as well, I might look at even selling off one of these youngsters, because these are going to be probably the best speed birds that I've got. Better than the birds that I've had previously, and they've done pretty well for me. Let's have a quick look in here. Oh, you're in the spotlight over there, buddy. He's just fostering these babies. I just want to have a look at this one. Can I look at that one? So yes, you can see this one is definitely going to be pied. Look at that. It's really starting to darken up a little bit, but he's not going to have a lot of colour on him. You can see that there's only a little bit of darkness there, and then the rest is going to be white by the looks of it. So wow, that's going to be an interesting coloured pigeon, I'll tell you. Ooh, I don't know what to think about that. I like the colours, but I really hope that he survives out here. Those eggs can be hatching soon. Oh, the big boy, 3331. His eggs have hatched. Let's zoom in there, have a look at him. They're looking pretty good. He's a really nice big fella. Look at him. Whoa, that's too much. But he's a fantastic pigeon. First season of breeding from these guys. These are some of the birds I got from Melbourne. So same breeder that we're putting some birds in the auction with. So they're like super. It's a real shame that these Gabbies didn't go in there, because they are, let's just say they're very good. So I'll be interested to see later on if we have an auction. Maybe you might see one of those bred like that in there. Oh, here's the big fella. What's going on, mate? This one is the father to that white pied baby we just seen. So I think that we've put 2 pieds together. We put a daughter of shock to him, and I think that's where that pied colours come from, because 2 heavy pieds can sort of take over quite well. So he's on a second egg there, the second round. But beautiful pigeon, this one. He is also father to 2 of my birds in the one Loft team that are in the top 20 to 25%, I think. I copy, well, I actually collect every point of data, and I sort of got my own little program that ranks all the birds, so it makes my life a lot easier. But we won't go into that because it's kind of top secret. Put the rings on these 2 today. This is my little Veenstra Koopman hen. She's fantastic. There will be a full, I think it's the brother, it's actually the nestmate to this one, in the coming auction. She's a fantastic pigeon, this one. I'm very excited for this little hen, to the point that I might even buy the other one back, because she's amazing, this little hen. The babies that she's been breeding are really good. So those, I'm actually going to split her up after this round. And I've got another cock that I want to pair up with her, but she's... Hey, I'm actually confused. I'm too busy looking through the camera. So this is not the hen that I'm talking about. This is actually the unrung cock, which is a daughter of 83, son of 83. Where is that little hen? They look very similar. That's why I paired them together. Oh, here she is. Come here. Come down here. Here she is. You can see they look quite similar. So there she is there, the Koopman Veenstra. She's got that kind of purpley burgundy look on her, but she's a beautiful hen. So there is a full, I think it's the brother actually to this. So I got one of them, and I think the other one is going in the auction, because some of these birds will be bred at the same time. We entered into one Loft races, so that's why you'll see half the birds in the auction are birds from here and half are from the Loft where we've bred them from. So we just didn't get a chance to get them all in the one Loft and done a bit of co-breeding. But it's actually paying off, because those birds that we bred in Melbourne in our one Loft team, most of them are in the top 7% of all those one Loft birds so far, and they're pretty impressive. So this pair will split them up shortly, but they look the same. Look at them. That's why I was confused there for a second. Anyway, my apologies. Let's continue on. Rosetta's up here at the moment. Here he is over here. So she was in here not to pair up. I took little Storm out actually, and then Rosetta's moved in with Three of a Kind, which is the cock on the right. So I thought, oh, I might just give these guys a pairing. I might float the eggs out actually, and see how they go. So the hen on the left, she's the Veenstra. She's actually a full sister to Zeta, which is in the one Loft team, and Zeta is in the top 3.5% of all the one Loft birds. So let's put these two together and see what happens. I do like one Loft racing, that's why I talk about it so much, but good one Loft birds I believe are going to be good pigeons for racing here where I am, because the conditions are tough. So yeah, we'll see. It's all theory. And another one of daughters at 83 in here, and she's got some little babies as well. So it'd be interesting to see how they go. So let's go down here. You've got the big boy in here, Apache. He will get out shortly, but his eggs will probably hatch another week and a half, and he's paired up to one of the hens that I got. I only got one hen and one cock, but one of the hens I got from Daniel. So beautiful hen. She's a little Koopman, so off some of the best one Loft birds in Australia. And it'll be very interesting to see how these two cross together. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Hopefully I can let them out soon. But yeah. Okay, let's have a look in here. He's all been waiting for this. So this cock is the one that we had on the really tough race we had. We clocked him. He was going to be in the auction, but I decided, look, hey, if my best chance with these Thai Grizzles is to bring this cock back across. He's a spread black, as you can see. He's very beautiful. And the blacks paired back into the Thai Grizzles are the best, I think, because it will darken up the tigers a little bit more. So I think that's a really good cross back in. I'm pretty sure this one is the Tiger Grizzle cock we've got, the son of him. I just have to go back and double check. So we'll just have to, I will have to double check that. So he did get second club, and then we're just going to put him back across there. And my plan right now is just to breed a lot of Tiger Grizzles and most likely pure black. So hopefully that is all we'll get out of it. And I'd really like to have like a section full of Tiger Grizzles. Even if we don't try and race them next year, we just keep them as 2-year-olds and try and race them then. Because the last 2 years we've actually not got any birds, any like Tiger Grizzles to the races. We've got the black there, got him out to 350 kilometers, and he did do that 270 to 280 kilometer headwind race. And I think it was like 30 to 35 kilometer an hour winds, which are quite strong winds,
They were headwinds all the way, and he made it back as a clockbird. So I'm actually quite impressed with him. That's not trying to zoom in on his eye, but I was hoping to get a bit better there. But that's where we're at. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. We'll keep you guys updated on the progress of these two.